No. Started too soon. Started recording too soon. Oh well. How we doing today, everybody? I think we are go right now. All right, welcome, Cougar Nation. I hope you are having a wonderful morning. It is a beautiful day. However, it is quite cold. Quite cold. I went outside this morning and think the temperature was about 16, maybe 17 degrees outside. So it's a little chilly, but it is just a beautiful day today. Perfectly still, no clouds in the sky. And today, rather than doing 5 questions, we're going to go over sensation versus perception. Okay, that's what this unit is all about. I do have a quizzes that I'm posting today, and you guys need to take care of that. It's open till next Wednesday. A number of people have been like, hey, Mr. Fuller, can I do the stuff that I didn't do? The answer is yes. Okay. We're all figuring this out. Some of you got everything done right away. Some people gradually got it done. Some people right now are catching up. Whatever the strategy is, just understand that if you have an issue, let me know. We can get this figured out. If you put in the effort, you're going to get everything completed that you need to get completed. That being said, I do want you to stay caught up because it's a lot of work to catch up. But overall, even yesterday for me, the internet went out at my house yesterday and I couldn't get stuff done. So, we got to take everything with a little bit of a grain of salt here. And, if you got stuff that's outstanding, don't worry. We'll get it done. Just send me an email. I got a couple. Once I get done recording this, I'm going to send some stuff out here and communicate with a few people who got in touch with me yesterday. So let's talk about sensation versus perception. You did have a crash course video to watch about sensation and perception. If you didn't do that, you should. It is not a required assignment. However, it's going to be tough to learn if you don't watch any of that stuff. The biggest thing that stinks for me is I don't get to have those in-class conversations like we always do. I don't get to show as many video links. I mean, I can put them on these Google presentations, but I can't guarantee that you guys are going to go to them. So, it's hard for us to teach, and it's got to be harder for you to learn. Hopefully, this is still keeping your interest. Probably after sensation and perception, we'll just make a beeline right into behavior disorders. That's probably what we'll do. Maybe we'll be back in school, but if not, we'll keep that high interest stuff going, and we'll finish out that way. So let's talk about sensation versus perception. What's the difference? So here's how I want to think of it. Okay, so sensation. Again, you don't need to write anything down, but you can if you want. Sensation is the process by which our sensory receptors and nervous system receive and represent stimulus energies from our environment. Don't worry, I wouldn't have had you write that down in class. I would have you write this instead. Maybe. Well, basically, sensation is taking in input from the external environment, okay? So, for example, the brain receives input from the sensory organs. So what are our sensory organs? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. How many senses do we have? Well, you probably grew up thinking we had about 5 senses. We really have at least 9, and some psychologists would argue up to 22, okay? There's one today. Okay, so if we're getting in, I told you I went outside, and it was a little chilly. Now, I told you it was about let's just call it 20 degrees. My phone said it was a little colder, but it felt a little warmer to me. 20 degrees. Is that cold? If it was 20 degrees in the middle of June, how cold would that be? Yeah, freezing. If it was 20 degrees in the middle of January, that would be pretty normal, okay? So we have sensation, which is just taking in the input from the sensory organs. So I went outside this morning and I could sense the temperature. Perception, on the other hand, tells me The process of organizing and interpreting sensory information, enabling us to recognize meaningful events, objects, and events. So the brain makes sense out of the input from sensory organs. So again, one of our senses that is not one of our five, our top five being sight, smell, sound, taste, and touch. But one of the other ones is called thermoception, and it's basically the ability to sense temperatures, right? You're not actually touching that, but if you can walk into a room, it's either warm or cold or kind of just right. So perception is our brain making sense of our environment, okay? A good way to think of it is like, like I said, going outside this morning. It was chilly. However, if it was the middle of January, it would have felt warm to me because I'm so used to it being cold. And if it was the middle of June, I would have been like, no, I'm not living here anymore. So that's the difference between sensation and perception. Okay. Sensation, yesterday at the Fuller household, we had cinnamon rolls. Sensation. You wake, you can smell that, right? You can smell the cinnamon and the sugar and the fat and all these sorts of things. Perception is recognizing all those different smells and going, that's a cinnamon roll that I'm smelling. And then in addition to that, for a lot of us, you not only smelling cinnamon roll, but you would think, yes, cinnamon rolls. Or you'd be like, I don't like cinnamon rolls. Okay. That's kind of the difference in sensation and perception. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Making sense of the world. We do it two ways. Bottom-up processing. This is taking sensory information and then assembling it and integrating it. So basically, it is seeing something, hearing something for the first time. Think of this. You're driving in your car and you hear a song on the radio that you've never heard before. You are bottom-up processing it. What are you listening for? You're listening for who's the singer? What is the beat? What are the lyrics? Okay, because you know none of that, right? You're taking it in for the first time. That's bottom-up processing. It says, what am I seeing? But it could be any of our senses, okay? Tasting something for the first time. We don't have to just, it's not all about sight. However, our dominant sense is sight. We rely on it quite a bit, which is why sometimes if you can't see somebody's mouth, it's hard to understand what they're saying because we're used to seeing their mouth move in certain ways. It is why when you go to eat something, if it looks good, it's more likely to taste good. Or more likely, if it doesn't look good, like you ever had like oatmeal, you're like, that does not look good. Oatmeal does taste pretty good, but it doesn't look particularly good, and that can actually affect our ability to taste it. Okay. So when we were bottom-up processing, you're taking everything in for the first time. You have no preconceived notion of what it should look like, taste like, smell like, sound like, or feel like. Okay. On the other hand, we have top-down processing, and that's using models, ideas, and expectations to interpret sensory information. So go back to the song example. If you're driving in your car and you hear a song that you have already heard before, how long does it take you to identify that song? Not very long. And usually you have some sort of opinion about the song at that time. Okay. Do I like this song? Do I not like this song? Do I want to switch the station? Do I want to sing along? Okay. We have already a preconceived idea of what it is, and we're going to use that to impact how we perceive something. So bottom up is taking something in for the first time. Top down would be, we already know what it looks like. A puzzle. Anybody built a puzzle over quarantine? We have. I didn't do much of it. My wife did most of it. Bottom up processing would be you have nothing to look at. There's no box to look at or anything. It's just a puzzle, and you have to figure it out based on where the borders are, where the corners are, and then you're going to fill in all the pieces. Top-down processing would mean you know what that finished puzzle is supposed to look like, and you go accordingly. Hopefully that makes sense. So there you go. Is it something I've seen before? Now, speaking of something I've seen before, okay, I am going to do this slide. Okay, this next slide. Usually it's in class, and it kind of gets people's attention. They're like, whoa, what are we watching, Mr. Fuller? What are we looking at? So, and probably, I mean, who knows how many people are watching this right now or are even going to, but if you did, you'll be like, whoa, what is going on here? Okay. So this next slide is a slide that they have shown elementary school kids before. And this is what it looks like. Oh, shoot. I don't have it on there. So instead of keeping going, I'm going to stop there, and we'll have to take a look at that another time, I guess. So anyway, that's it for notes for today. I just want to go over sensation versus perception, top-down processing, bottom-up processing. I am going to post a quizzes code. Also, I'm going to put on another video link of a video that I usually show during sensation and perception, because it's all kind of like optical illusion type stuff, and it's a pretty fun one. So I hope you guys are doing well. Have a great day. If you have any questions, feel free. Email me, send me a remind message, come to the Google meeting. We are meeting from 10 to 10:30 today for psychology. Any way you want to try to contact me, feel free to go ahead. Okay, have a great day. We'll talk to you guys later.